Over the past little while, something very unexpected has been happening in my life. And I've been a little bit hesitant to talk about it because on the surface, it sounds not very nice. It sounds kind of irresponsible and a little selfish. It might even sound unkind. But it has honestly changed my life more than almost anything else I've done in the last, say, 15 years. And that is this: I stopped caring. Now, not in the sense that I don't care about people, which of course I do, or that I don't care about my work, or that I don't care about doing my best, but I stopped caring about all the things that were never mine to carry in the first place. And I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't wake up one morning and think, well, today I'm going to stop caring what people think. It was more that I became too tired of it all to continue. Too tired to manage everyone's reactions. Too kind of fed up to anticipate everyone's feelings. And too just done to keep everything from going wrong. And little by little, I just let go. Hi, I'm Wendy. I'm an artist and an author. And today I'm painting while this voiceover is going because I had company on the weekend and I got kind of behind and I need to make up some time to get this painting finished. But to continue, I stopped caring about everyone's opinions. I didn't announce it. I didn't make a decision about it. I simply noticed that I no longer had the energy to run every decision through an imaginary panel of judges in my mind. What will they think? Will this make sense to people? Will they approve? Will they understand? Will they think I'm foolish? Will they think I'm lazy? Will they think I'm doing it wrong? And I realized how much of my life, including my art business, including my YouTube channel, had been quietly shaped by trying to avoid disapproval. I also stopped feeling responsible for other people's feelings. This was a big one because I've spent most of my life believing that it was my job to keep the emotional atmosphere around me calm. And I don't think I'm alone in this. In fact, I think women are kind of enculturated to do this. If someone was upset, I needed to fix it. If someone was disappointed, I needed to make it better. If someone was uncomfortable, I needed to explain myself. And if someone misunderstood me, well, that was an emergency. But recently, I began to understand that other people's feelings are not problems for me to solve. They're experiences for them to have. Another thing I stopped was trying to control everything. I stopped trying to make sure that things worked out exactly how they should. I stopped trying to manage outcomes. I stopped trying to prevent mistakes. I stopped trying to make my business succeed on a schedule I had created in my own mind. And as you know, lately I've stopped trying so hard to make my art business work. I'm painting. I'm putting prints in my shop when I get to it. I'm allowing it to develop instead of forcing it to perform. Basically, I'm relaxing about it. I also stopped doing things that I don't actually care about. Things I thought I should do. Things that look impressive. Things that are strategic. Things that are supposedly important, but that quietly drained every bit of creative energy from my nervous system. And I stopped being angry when things didn't work out the way I wanted. There is an energy suck if there ever was one. I stopped replaying conversations over and over in my head, fixing them, figuring out what I should have said, what it should have done differently. I stopped rewriting outcomes in my head. Stopped trying to figure out how it could have gone differently if only I had said the right thing or made the right choice or tried harder. I've stopped caring what kind of impression I make, online and in person. I stopped trying to come across as capable, or productive, or successful, or insightful. I stopped caring if people really like me. And this one surprised me because I always assumed that being liked was a kind of safety. I stopped caring how people close to me behave. I stopped feeling like I had to fix it, or interpret it, or soften it, or compensate for it, or manage it so that everything would be okay. Not my job. And here is what happened. I started liking myself better. Not because I improved myself, but because I was no longer watching myself through someone else's eyes. I wasn't judging myself based on what other people might think. I've become more content, more sort of settled, and more at peace with unfinished things, including my own life. For the first time in literally over 15 years, my nervous system has started coming out of constant fight or flight. I didn't realize how long I had been living there. I just knew something was very wrong. How much of my effort, even in building a business, was fueled by urgency or fear of what might be or what might not be, or the need to prove that I was doing okay. And this is a big one. I started sleeping better. I have had a problem with sleep and with adrenaline surges in the nighttime for over 15 years. And so many of those times made me feel so angry with my body, with my system, with my life. Just angry. Now, when I wake up in the middle of the night, I've stopped trying to force my body to behave properly. I just allow myself to be awake. And strangely enough, it has made it easier to fall back to sleep. Sometimes I'll turn on the light and read for an hour. Or if I've had a really bad wake up, which means pounding heart, the whole body getting too hot and sort of feeling like you had an electric shock, it often takes about 2 hours to calm everything down. So sometimes I'll turn on the light and just read until I get sleepy. Other times it's not too bad and I'll just lie there, keeping warm, and I'll fall back to sleep. And strangely enough, the whole act of allowing what's going on has made it actually easier to go back to sleep. And sometimes I've even slept right through the night, which has been years. Consequently to all these changes, I'm happier than I have been in years. My daughter was visiting on the weekend, and she said, "Mom, you just seem happier. What did you do? What have you done?" I said, "You know what? I stopped caring." And I'm happier not because I'm more successful, not because I'm more productive, not more admired, just happier. I've slowed down, and I've forgiven myself for not succeeding in the ways that I thought I would have had by now, or the way I believed I should have. I've been okay when what I set out to do in a day doesn't get done. I've stopped trying to prove anything, a point, that I'm right, that I'm competent, that I'm still relevant, or that I know what I'm doing. And here's the strangest part of all. Now that I've stopped trying to control everything and impress everyone and succeed on demand, I feel more like myself than I have in a very long time. And for me, this hasn't been psychological, it's been more spiritual. Because as a Christian, I've read the verses about peace for years. I've read about rest. I've read about not worrying. I've read about trusting God. But it's very possible to believe those things in theory and still live your daily life carrying everything yourself, trying to manage outcomes, trying to manage relationships, trying to manage how you're perceived, trying to manage your future, trying to manage whether your work succeeds, trying to manage whether everything's going to be okay. There's a verse that says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may lift you up in due time. Also, cast all your cares on him, for he cares for you." This is in 1 Peter 5. And I've read those verses, I don't know how many times, but recently I began to realize that casting your care on the Lord doesn't mean praying about something once and then picking it up again 5 minutes later. It actually means letting it stay there. Let him carry it. Let him carry what you were never meant to carry. That means not thinking about it anymore. Saying, "Lord, I give this to you. It's not mine anymore." And also, the Bible says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." This is from Matthew 11:28 and 29. I think for a long time I was trying to follow the Lord while still dragging all of my responsibilities for outcomes and impressions and approval and success along behind me, as if rest was something I could earn later. After I got everything kind of sorted out, and after I made my business work, and after I became who I thought I should be now. But I'm beginning to understand that rest isn't a reward for having everything under control. It's what happens when you admit that you don't, and you stop trying to. And strangely enough, that's when my nervous system started to calm down. I used to go to bed and my whole body was buzzing. And I knew it was going to be a bad night. But lately, that's hardly happened at all. And that's when sleep started to return. And that's when contentment started to grow. Not because I finally fixed everything, but because I finally stopped trying to be the one who had to. So if you've been feeling tired or anxious or responsible for how everything is going to turn out, maybe today is a good day to put some of that down and to trust that the Lord is able to carry it for you. Thank you for being with me here today. Please subscribe to my channel and click the little bell so you get the notifications when I have new videos. Also, please give me a thumbs up because that helps the channel. And I'll see you next time.